Hi everyone, Dennis Foley from Acoustic Fields. Today we're going to talk about creative drain. I get a lot of calls from engineers who, they're exhausted. They're exhausted from working around problems in their room. And I think to myself, the time that you spend working around problems in your room could best be directed to other places, right? All we have is time. So room issues, pressure, reflections, always those two categories, right? Pressure and reflections. Pressure, we have modes. Reflections, we have reverb, we have noise, we have peaks, nulls, exaggeration, attenuation. All of this stuff causes you to have to work around it. First, you have to identify it, which usually is pretty easy for engineers to do. And then you got to work around it. Okay, you got a 40 cycle plus 12 dB bump in your room. How's that going to work for translation? Okay, get a lot of calls from film guys that are mixing in small rooms. And of course, their issue is, how do we get that small room sound to translate into larger room venues, movie theaters and things like that? A lot of them use dub stages to mix on, so they get that, impact that they want in the mix for the larger room. Expensive. Dub stages in LA, 10 to 15,000 a day. So better to have a room that translates and fixed accordingly. The energy that you spend working around those you could use for your creative endeavors. That's the goal here, is conserve the energy and use it for creative processes. The creative process is the reason that we all started in this, that we all started with music. I mean, I'm not an engineer in terms of mixing, but I'm an engineer in terms of getting a room to sound good. And that was the impetus and the drive behind it, the creativity to develop products and technologies that actually worked and resolved issues that weren't boxes filled with building insulation, that actually had real technology. Our foam technology took 8 years and $2 million to develop. So that's what you have to be aware of. The carbon technology, I think I worked 12 prototypes on that, trying to figure that out. So creativity, it's the space between our reality and our self. I mean, it's really important to those of us that have it and want to use it. And working around room problems all day long cannot be a good thing at all, okay? So we must have a friendship with our room. We must be able to work within our rooms all the time, anytime the creative urge strikes. In my 2 studios, when I walk into that door, I know what to expect. I know what I'm going to get, and I know what kind of experience I'm going to get every time. There's no surprises, and that's what you want to do. So a room's like a loaf of bread. You can't just take one slice. You got to take the whole room, and you got to analyze all the problems in the room if you really want a room that you can use constantly. We go through this with noise with guys all the time. A lot of engineers like to mix 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, the noise levels in neighborhoods drop drastically. So you have to be really, really careful. What you could mix at, levels you could mix at during the day, you can't at 2 and 3 in the morning, especially if your neighbors, like in LA here, are 6 feet away from your house. So you have to be really careful. So how do you feel when you open the door? Do you want there to be a room with no exceptions, no workarounds, no problems, no issues? You don't want to have to say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that because I have to, because of my room. You don't want that. You want a room that's predictable and consistent in the performance, okay? So we got to fix the exceptions in the room with treatment. We got to do that. That's the most important thing to do. And we can do it. What do we got? We got pressure and reflections. Our diaphragmatic absorption works really good for pressure. It's nice and smooth. And our foam works really good for middle and high frequencies. And both technologies were designed together to work together, okay? And that's the goal. You want a synergy in the room. You want to be able to walk through that room and have a smile on your face and enjoy going in there and work, especially if you get an idea, a creative idea. You want to be able to implement. That's the goal. So creative drain, we don't want it. It's a direct result of working around the problems within our room, whether they're noise, absorption, or diffusion issues. Doesn't make any difference. They're issues, they're exceptions that need to be addressed. Creative drain, let's get rid of it through treatment. Hope this helps. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. We also have a newsletter that you can subscribe to, so please do that because we offer special price discounts to only those on our newsletter. And then don't forget about our forum. We have started a forum on our own website where people ask questions, and I usually get a chance every couple days to look at it. There's an interchange between people on the forum, and we'll give you real answers on a regular basis, so that'll help you. Thank you.